NightCap recap. What up, players?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Jim Biringer here, the NightCap recap. Little old school for you today, except it's not on the page. This is real old school. Like when we first started doing these lives, we did it on the accounts, our personal ones, until we created that page. But we got to talk about it. Jump on here. Specialty media. Lefty's going to join me in a little bit. Talking about Giants, Harbaugh, landing their fish. If you followed us on YouTube, follow Specialty Media as well on Instagram. You know, we've been talking about it. Harbaugh to the Giants was a must. Was a must. All in for Harbaugh, and that's what they did. Harbaugh to the Giants. $20 million a season, 5 years, $100 million. This is the way to go for this team. Yo, old school, baby.
Old school, baby. I was just going to say, I missed this, man. It's good to see you on Instagram Live, brother.
Look, it's our personal pages. This is what we're doing. We want to get on here for you, bring it back old school, because we got to talk about the news that John Harbaugh going to be the next coach of the New York Football Giants. We've been calling it since day one. I texted you. I have the text that if Harbaugh had become available, Giants' #1 target, and here we are. He's going to be a man in New York.
Dude, listen, I went to bed around 11 o'clock last night. I like to break the news to my friends in my group chats. You know how it goes. And, of course, stroke of midnight, we heard the news that he was getting on a plane going back to Baltimore, but apparently some strings were pulled last minute. They took him out to Aliyah, a nice Mediterranean restaurant. That sealed the deal, I think. But apparently he had a 2-hour face-to-face with Jackson Dart, got to be in the building. Guys like Tom Coughlin, even Brian Daboll, who's recently fired, and Eli Manning all spoke to John Harbaugh. The Titans and Atlanta were next on his list. The Plains never made it to Baltimore because he signed on – well, he hasn't signed yet, but in agreement that this will happen, a 5-year, $100 million deal. What a great move for the Giants. What a way to go all in on this. For all the crap you've given Joe Shane, you have to give him some credit here for being involved with this one, too.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much involved he was because I heard this is all Mara and Tish.
And Mara did the thing for this one. It was all Mara from what I was reading.
Yeah, so it's all Mara on this because let's go back a couple, what was it, 2 off seasons ago, not this past one, but the one before when they kept everybody on. He talked about how I want to bring winning back. We need to win. Got to win now. We got to be – yeah, but everybody came back. We ran it back with everybody.
Right.
Now you bring in a guy like Harbaugh, said it on Rob Peterson's show. I'll keep saying it. You got an adult in the room now, right? You got an adult in the room. Guys can get everybody in charge, right? Abdul Carter's not going to be playing video games or searching TikTok or doing whatever during meetings. I always say this. Tom Coughlin was a great coach for the Giants. Why? Because if you were 5 minutes early to a meeting, you were still late. That's the kind of discipline this team needs, and this is the kind of coach that this team needs. Now you have stability at the head coaching position. This is a guy you're not going to roll over in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5. This guy's going to be here for a while. Andy Mack, what's going on, my brother? Glad to see you jumping on. We love you here on NightCap Recap. But I love this move for the New York Football Giants. This is a great way to be.
Yeah, I saw some tweets. They were talking about 10 years ago this week, Joe Judge was signed. And since that time, it's been kind of a decade of crappiness for the New York Giants, right? Since we saw that boat picture, and we know what the record is. It's not that good.
It's not good.
They were in the playoffs. They had the one playoff run with Dable. But you're absolutely right. I mean, the key was getting an established head coach who's got respect around the league, who's won a championship, who's done a lot of winning in the playoffs in a regular season, and has taken a quarterback like Lamar Jackson and taken him to an MVP level. That's a great sign for Jackson Dart because Harbaugh's bringing in Todd Monken, and we'll talk about that. And, look, we saw that what Lamar was able to do. We got Cam Scatterbull. You got Malik Neighbors. You got a lot of weapons on offense that Harbaugh's got at his disposal. And it's probably the best thing that you could ever imagine for New York Giants fans to wake up to this morning and see, hey, we finally got the guy.
I got the text at midnight. I got literally right before midnight. I got a text to say, keep an eye on Harbaugh. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Of course, at midnight. the midnight signing, of course. Everybody loves to do the midnight signing.
Yeah.
And look, I like it. You mentioned the weapons, and on the other side of the ball, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, they have a good defense. Yeah, they made the playoffs under Daboll. I still equate it to having Saquon Barkley in a running back. Again, I think Mara was – look, I'm not in his head. I don't know what he's thinking, but I think he wanted to take back his organization after the embarrassment that happened on Hard Knocks when it came to the Saquon Barkley situation, and they just letting him go and pray to God he doesn't go to the Eagles. Like, he takes control back of his team.
Yeah.
Whether Joe Shane and John Harbaugh are lockstep, it doesn't really matter. He's the general manager for right now. They want to move forward as him as the GM. I have a feeling Harbaugh is going to have player personnel decisions, coaching decisions, things like that, how he wants this team to look. But John Harbaugh is a good coach, and we talked about it too. A lot of people talked about other destinations. I was always like, again, I'm not trying to be a homer here, but if you ranked the other teams, the Giants, for what they had, was the most desirable location.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. For the talent, the availability of the draft picks, right, and the money, and you have a quarterback that we think is a franchise quarterback. Look, it's his first year. We have to see more of Jackson Dart, but he showed that he could be a stable force here at the quarterback position for the New York Giants. And listen, a guy like Dexter Lawrence, who, was an all-pro, and, this year he kind of took a step back. The production wasn't there. Maybe he was just tired of losing. Maybe like what's going on with Daboll wore down these guys on defense, and they just weren't giving their full effort, which is terrible. But he sees John Harbaugh walk through the door. You don't think he's motivated. You don't think he's excited. A guy like Abdul Carter, you got Kayvon Thibodeau, you got Burns. I mean, this defense, I expect these guys to be a top 5 unit next year. I'm going to say it. I mean, I think they're going to take the next step. Once Harbaugh brings in his defensive coordinator, we've heard some rumors of who he might bring in here. But I think just having John Harbaugh there and the pedigree of the Baltimore Ravens.
The respect is going to be in the room. There wasn't a lot of respect last year. Daboll was kind of lame duck coach. The players knew it. The GM knew it. Organization knew it. Like, the players had no respect for him anymore. Like, they just didn't. Look, he got his guy Jackson Dart into this thing. You still got Jameis there. It's a good team. I'm not going to say playoffs. I'm not going to say anything like that right now because I want to see what they do because I don't want to get amped up. But this team will start competing again and being a good organization on the field because now they're a good organization off the field again.
You won't say it because it's your team. I'll say it. I texted you today. I have a feeling, look, coming into this year and the way the Giants played this year, if like 5 or 6, we said it all year long, if 5 or 6 games go a different way, they might be in the mix there for.
If their defense held leads, they would have been in the mix for the wild card.
Right, and then maybe the games turn out a little differently. Maybe Daboll's not fired.
Yeah, I think he's going to still get fired at the end of the year anyway.
Yeah, but I think with Harbaugh there, they can be a team that is competing for a wild card. I'm not saying they're going to be taking over the division just yet. They got a ways to go for that for sure. But we've seen it. Look what Jacksonville. Look how many times every year there's at least 1 or 2 teams that go worst to first in the NFL. It happens with the parity all the time.
Carolina.
The Bears, the Jags, the Panthers. It happened 3 times this year that a team went worst to first. Why can't it happen for the New York Giants? We just saw the Philadelphia Eagles. Unless they bring a big-time offensive coordinator, they might take a step back because people are questioning Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and what Sirianni's doing there. The Cowboys, we know the Cowboys, man. We know the story with them. Dak's always going to show up. Is the rest of the team going to show up? Why can't the Giants be right there competing? I'm not going to put it out there and say they will, but I don't see why they can't.
Yeah, but with 7 teams, what is it? Seven teams make the playoffs now?
7 teams make the playoffs, yep.
Who says they can't compete for a 7 seed?
That's what I'm saying, and I think it's not far-fetched to think that with John Harbaugh.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're going to be a better team. It's a good quality hire at the head coaching position, stability.
Yeah.
My biggest question, now, I've seen a lot of takes out there, and this is the sports industry now. Oh, well, Harbaugh with Lamar couldn't get him into the playoff, couldn't make deep runs. You had couldn't even get them in the playoffs this year. If you watch the game, the Ravens were hurt. There were several games they were in, and Lamar didn't play well. That was on a lot of it was on him this year.
Yeah.
And then the playoff failures, if a throw here and there gets caught, the Ravens might actually make deep playoff runs with those guys.
They've had a lot of heartbreak with missed kicks, drop passes, guys fumbling at the one has been.
I mean, look, Harbaugh's probably fired anyway because the way the owner was talking.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
It sounded like it didn't matter if they made playoffs or not. He was gone. He had his gut feeling. He was going with his gut. So
yeah,
you got to respect him for that. My issue with Todd Monken, and the only issue I have, my nitpick is, I want to see the guy that I saw in Georgia open the playbook up, run the football, set up the play action, set up these plays that made the Dogs' offense just click. He knows how to run the football and stick with it. And in the NFC East, you have to do that.
Yeah, and in the NFC in general, because you got look at the teams, man, the Packers, the Bears, the Lions, the Niners, the Rams, the Seahawks. It ain't going to be easy. You got to be able to establish the run and do it well. And if Cam Scatterbo is healthy and they can get another – if Tyrone Tracy, he looks really good at the end of the year.
I know it's far-fetched to think this way. Even if the Giants trade out of the top pick, maybe they don't. Maybe they use it on running back. Maybe they go get Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, they could. They could do that. They're sitting at number 5 right now, right? I mean, maybe they want to draft an impact player on defense or something like that. But they could do what you just said as well.
I mean, think about it. Even if you keep Tyrone Tracy, when the Giants were at their best run of football, it was three-headed monster.
Yeah.
You get a guy, keep Tyrone Tracy, you get Scatterbo, you have a guy, a workhorse like Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
That's a good three-headed monster in the backfield.
Oh, totally agreed. And I think the Giants need to focus on, the receiving core a little more. I know Neighbors is going to be the one. I think Harbaugh is going to make some personnel decisions, like you just said, like a guy like Jalen Hyatt or Wan'Dale Robinson.
I had this debate with somebody today. They're like, he sucks. He's one of the worst players in the NFL. Does he, or did they not utilize him the right way?
Who?
Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah, there seems to be a mixed reactions when it comes to Jalen Hyatt. Some fans are ready to get rid of him, and some fans want to keep him, saying he was underutilized. So it's interesting to see what Harbaugh.
He's a deep threat.
He is.
He's a deep threat. The receivers just have to get open and read the routes.
Yeah, and I think Darius Slayton has seen his time here with the Giants come to an end. He had his opportunity to, make some big-time catches and plays, and he didn't do it. So I think
they're keeping, Wan'Dale Robinson they'll probably keep around for a little bit.
Yeah, you need to keep a couple guys, but you also need to draft well. Theo Johnson showed flashes. He also had a lot of big-time drops. So there's some guys that we're gonna see what Harbaugh is gonna do personnel-wise that I'm really curious. Like, I was reading one thing. Isaiah Likely did not sign an extension with the Ravens. He's gonna be available. Would Harbaugh bring one of his guys from
Probably.
Baltimore?
I wouldn't doubt it. I think it's like the NCAA now. Your coach bounces, you're gonna go find your coach.
Look, and we see it all the time in the NFL though. Like, coaches will go places and bring their guys. I mean, it happens with everybody. I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, don't put it out of reach that can't happen. I feel like that can happen.
No, it definitely can happen. So, look, again, pen to paper still, but the terms have been agreed to.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen. Giants get their man.
This puts them right at, I believe, right under Andy Reid and Sean Payton for highest paid coaches. Look, if Mike Tomlin was available, I think I would give Tomlin like a nose hair of an edge, like 1A, 1B with these two.
It's 1A, 1B for me.
Like, I wouldn't put it past him and be like, all right, we're gonna hire Tomlin over Harbaugh. I feel like you can't go wrong either way. But Harbaugh is going to be like the third highest paid or second highest paid coach. I mean,
he deserves it.
He deserves it. He's proven it. As AJ Styles makes his the debut episode of TNA on AMC, AJ Styles.
Yo, by the way, shout out AMC for putting Teddy on.
We got to find a commercial, though, because I put it on. I found a stream, and they did not play the commercial. So if somebody can find a commercial for me that I was on, apparently, I need to see it.
Yeah, AJ Styles on TNA. But, look, we'll talk more about that on the full pod. But we need to come on here, talk some Giants, because we have been talking about it all week. We've been saying it on the last couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Giants, how to make this happen. said it on Rob Peterson today. He loved the tweet. It said, can't let him leave the room, leave the building without a contract. They got it done. Terms are agreed to. We know what the deal is. Giants get their man. Now going to be interesting to see where these other guys land, like a Kevin Stefanski. Does he go to Baltimore? Is that a place for him? Like, does he go down there? Does he go to Pittsburgh? Where's the carousel going? And by the way, Adam Schefter put that tweet out on Monday and talked about it Monday about Matt LaFleur. It's Thursday. That deal still ain't done.
It's interesting, right? What's going to happen there, man, right? If they still haven't done anything there. They said they're going to bring him back as an extension, and we haven't seen anything yet. So the interesting thing about Pittsburgh, we were talking about it on the pod, how I said they hire guys 38 and under or 40 and under.
Yeah.
They're talking about Shula, current defensive coordinator for the Rams. Out of respect, obviously, they're going to wait till the playoffs.
Right.
But that's a guy, I believe, who's 37, 38.
That's another one.
Another defensive guy, much like Tomlin. That could be a guy that fits the bill for a Pittsburgh team.
Well, and don't forget, they were saying the Wisenhunt was their guy all the way when Tomlin was hired. And Tomlin, they just loved him in the room. They're like, we got to hire this guy.
Right, so that could happen for Pittsburgh. I think Stefanski lands in Baltimore. Atlanta,
I think so, too. Like, I just have this feeling he's going to go to Baltimore.
I do, too. In Atlanta, Matt Ryan, the new GM, apparently wants to bring in Clint Kubiak as his either head coach or offensive coordinator. He's going to get an opportunity to be a head coach, interview for it. And the GM they're looking at is a current 49ers assistant personnel guy. So the Niners are always get their guys poached because they're one of the best run organizations.
One of the best run organizations in the league.
So Atlanta, it seems like Matt Ryan's trying to put together a really good staff because, as you know, Clint Kubiak is one of the guys that's is part of that Shanahan tree with McVay and McDaniel. Both Kubiaks.
Where do you think Mike McDaniel's lands?
So McDaniel, in addition to the head coaching interviews that he's been getting, said today that he's okay taking an offensive coordinator job. And like we discussed on the pod,
really,
either Philly or Detroit, if I'm either of those, that's who I want. Imagine him on the sideline with Sirianni, dialing up some plays for Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
It's A.J. Brown still in Philadelphia.
If he's still there. For me, I think the Lions is the best spot for him.
I think the Lions are the best spot, too.
Jared Goff with they have Jameson Williams. They got a burner. They got a stud in Amon-Ra. They got a stud in Gibbs in the backfield. I feel like if I was him, go be the OC in Detroit.
What about like the Raiders in Tennessee? What do we think?
I don't know, because Tennessee right now, they're interviewing Jason Garrett. I heard Mike McCarthy's going to take an interview with Tennessee. Robert Saleh of the 49ers also talking to Arizona and Tennessee. So
stay in 49ers, man. Get your money and stay.
But here's the thing. I want them to stay. I hope they offer him whatever they can to keep him. Here's the thing. They're seeing what he's doing here with like a minimal play. No talent on his defense.
That doesn't mean he's a head coach.
No, I know. I agree. I think
that doesn't mean he's a head coach. Like, all these guys love what these coordinators do.
But this is what happens in the NFL. You have some success. You show that you can have success with not a lot of talent, and that's what Saleh's doing here with the Niners.
But is it Saleh? Is it a combination of Saleh and Shanahan? Is it?
Yeah, it could be everything. Because Saleh, if he goes to Arizona, that's a low stretch. He came to New York. Let's remember that, too. He came to New York, where the media is all over you. If he goes to an Arizona or Tennessee, he's not going to be accosted at every press conference about the team being terrible. He could do his thing. I would hate to see him on the opposite sidelines with Arizona as a Niners fan, but I think this win over Philly gained him, obviously, these interviews.
I wouldn't do it if I was him.
I hope not, man. I hope he stays.
Find the right job. I know all these guys. It's easy for me to say because I don't want to be an NFL head coach.
Yeah.
But if I'm these guys, I wait till the perfect opportunity to take over.
And as for the Raiders, that's a great question, Jimmy, because I feel like that's an opportunity for someone to go there and, really, really turn the franchise around with Mendoza probably coming in there and Bowers and Gentry. You have some opportunities there. So really curious on what the Raiders do and what head coach. I haven't heard any of who they are.
I haven't heard anything about what the Raiders are doing.
Yeah, I've heard almost every team interviewing guys except I want to say the Browns and the Raiders are the two teams that I haven't heard too
Andy
much
Mack,
about.
if he's still, I don't know if he's still watching. Andy Mack would know. I think he's
Yeah.
got some articles out. I'll check them
Tell
out.
us about the Browns, the head coaching search out there. What are we thinking?
Yeah, for the Browns, we don't know. I mean, Miami, there's a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Miami was shoo-in to get Harbaugh." I'm like, no, they weren't. I'm like, what talent do they have? First of all, Tua's not even there anymore. Well, he's there, but I don't think he's along for the business in Miami. I think there's a lot of changeover with the Dolphins.
Right.
So, and I'm interested to see what they do.
Miami's another one. Miami's another interesting spot. Is Tyreek Hill going to be back? Jalen Waddle's there. I mean,
They got talent.
What are they doing with the quarterback? Is Quinn Ewers going to be the quarterback next year?
Quinn Ewers needs some time. I'm not going to lie. Like, he needs time. And real quick, I know this is just about Harbaugh, but I've seen a lot of tweets about the quarterback class potentially. Dante Moore staying in school. Yeah. Good on him because he needs to develop. He needs another year because he's not ready to go to the Jets. Everybody's like, oh, he just didn't want to go to the Jets. And the money. Outside of the money part of the NIL, the kid's not ready to go to the NFL. Like, he's straight up not ready. Like, first of all, Jets have no offensive line. No matter any of these bad teams pick them, there's no offensive line to protect him. Dante Moore still can't make throws. He needs to be better on his feet. Needs to be better with his reads. Look, Oregon got as far as they did, but they were able to run the ball. They lost their running backs. Dan Lanning got the most out of him. And look, I love Fernando Mendoza. Indiana's a great story. We'll see what happens in the Natty. I'm cautiously optimistic about Mendoza going to the Raiders or wherever he's going. Because if you're not running an offense like he's running Indiana, I know he's the underdog. You don't think of these guys. He can do the same thing, believe and all that stuff. The NFL is a different animal when you got to go up against Kansas City. You got to go up against the Chargers, the Broncos, good defensive teams. Can that style of offense play out for the Raiders?
Yeah, I think the key for that would be let's wait to for the Raiders. Maybe they're waiting. And they're going to see what coach can we pair with the Mendoza that will get him ready to be successful in the NFL. That'd be the key right there.
Look, and the quarterback class this year and the quarterback class next year is not the best. If I were teams, I would be trying to find my quarterback in rounds 2 and later because I'm not drafting any of these guys in the first round. I'm being honest right now. The way I'm scouting some of these guys, I'm not. I mean, look, I know Arch is probably going to come out. Maybe he's the only one in the first round. But if I'm other teams, build the foundation around the quarterback, draft offensive line, get him protection before you draft that quarterback. Because this class is already weak as it is. If Trinidad Chambliss wins his appeal with the NCAA when they denied his 6th year of eligibility, if he wins that, he's going back to school.
Wait, now isn't Arch staying until 2027?
Yeah, which is next year.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. But if you look at the quarterbacks that are eligible for the draft this year, outside of Mendoza and say Trinidad Chambliss, but he's working an appeal right now, and even Trinidad Chambliss needs some time.
Okay,
like, these next couple of years are not like standout QBs.
And the thing is, these kids can go back. I get it with the NIL now; they don't have to make the decision. But I guess it's good when you have a low amount of actual started games in college to go back and get some more experience, right? So
well, I mean, Ty Simpson, he's coming out. He's played 15 games. Horrible advice. Like, I mean, look, I know you can be first round rated, but we've seen it. If you don't have the experience playing college football, the game it doesn't work. Like, I mean, look, Mark Sanchez had a great career. I'm not going to pile on the guy about what happened off the field.
Yeah.
But his own coach at USC, when Pete Carroll was still at USC, said, don't go out. You weren't ready.
Right. And he ended up being right? So.
Yeah. So sometimes it's okay to stay in school. Like, if I was advising Ty Simpson, and I'm not, but if I was, I would have been like, you need to stay in school and develop. I would have showed him the stats, 15 games and less. And the last case is Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, that's another one, right?
Like, Ty Simpson at times at Alabama looked great this year. At other times, he did not look good.
I think there's something to going back and staying in school and getting more experience.
I know everybody talks about your draft stock up and down. You know what? If you're good enough, if you get the experience you develop, you can make it in NFL.
Absolutely. I totally
Look at
agree
Brock
with that.
Purdy.
Brock Purdy, baby. The only quarterback in this weekend's divisional round that was not taken in the first round. How about that?
He was taken with the last overall pick.
And look at that. Look at him, man. Look at him.
I'm just saying, stay in school, develop, because the NFL doesn't really have a developmental league anywhere
You're right.
to develop these players.
You're
And
right.
the NFL is not a developmental league, period.
And this is why sometimes we look around, we see poor play. Teams don't get going until a month into the year. It's because when you're putting out young quarterbacks, they don't have the experience. It's a lot of growing pains. And like you said, they're actually developing in real time, which is you want to get them in there when they're ready to go. You don't want them have them develop as they go along.
I mean, they're going to grow and develop with certain schemes and understanding plays and this and that. But you want their mechanics ready to play.
When they're ready to play, exactly, because that's what leads to careers being cut short and teams being impatient with letting these guys play it out.
Because we see it, Baker, Darnold, all these guys.
Yeah.
They were rushed, and then here we are.
Here we are. That's it, man.
So, guys, we wanted to come on here, do a quick live. It's been too long since we did one of these for you.
Love it.
Instead of waiting until next week for hear us break down Harbaugh, which we'll do again anyway.
Yeah.
But we wanted to give you our initial thoughts on the Harbaugh to the Giants sign.
Hot off the presses, man. This will be up on the page. We appreciate all the support and love you guys watch, and we really appreciate it.
We do. We appreciate it. Jim Biringer, Teddy's down there. If somebody has that commercial, please send it to us.
We'll find it. We're going to do our best.
We'll find it for you guys. Guys, you know where to find it. NightCap, Recap, IG, Specialty Media on YouTube, Spitball Sports. Jim Biringer, Teddy Repantis. Guys, take care.